Thanks for staying with us. So, a clergywoman, Laurie Idahosa, was trending the last 2 days. Why? She replied a man who berated married women for ordering food from food vendors. According to him, there's a growing trend amongst Nigerian women these days. They order stews, soups, jollof, they eat at home from vendors. And I mean married women. Our darling Pastor Laurie just threw in a curve. Says that the kitchen has no gender. And so everyone should be able to use it. Also, there is no shame in married women ordering food. Now, this now stirred up quite a bit of conversation on social media. But you know, if you of you ladies haven't spoken about it, it hasn't been said. So you can join the conversation on 08127053687, 09139076694. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your view TVC so we can read your tweets. You know, when we're younger, they used to say, oh, the way to a man's heart is his stomach. And every young girl was almost reminded of the need to learn how to cook. I mean, you felt like a lesser girl if you don't know how to cook. I mean, I know I felt that way. I don't know about anybody else, but I used to feel really bad that I didn't know how to cook as a young girl. And I've shared my story several times with you, where my brothers thought I was really going to be a cook when I went 3 years. And the first thing I made, I just knew that stew was going to be red. I wasn't sure the components. So I knew I bought tomatoes. I can't remember what else. I blended together and I put in the pot. And he was like, what? You can't cook? Like, no, I can't. I've never been to the kitchen. You know, it was really bad then. But here we are today. We don't even have to worry about that because they have food vendors. You know, if you order, you can order oha soup. You can order dikaiko. You can order fisherman soup. You know, you can order everything and then have, and you'll be okay. Why is that such a problem? Because there's a man now saying that he's shocked that married women are ordering food that they want to eat. What are your thoughts on this? Who would like to go first?
Okay. Really, it's not about the knowledge of cooking, because I can cook, but I hate to cook. If I wasn't a mother, I probably would still be punishing my husband with whether he will eat. Because when I'm tired, I just don't want to cook. But the responsibilities of running a home that forces a woman to take care of kitchen work is not about knowledge of cooking. It's about the responsibility of making sure everybody is well fed. Today, that you can afford it. You know, those days, you are probably a housewife, so it's part of your house duties to ensure that, you know, food is available. So you must know the skill to make it sweet and all of that. But today, women are already, you know, high flyers and doing well. It's a distraction to be forcing yourself in the kitchen. Sometimes I'll be on the road 8 p.m. and I'm getting home. I will not take off my clothes because everybody in the house is waiting to see what mommy will finish.
Yes.
Because dinner is the main meal in my house. And then I'm in the kitchen till maybe like 9:30, 10. I don't enjoy it. That's the honest truth. If I had a plethora of vendors just supplying the food and the freezer was working 24/7, I would not bother. And so what she said is something I totally agree with. It does not prove any, what they used to say, how will I put it, the perfection of a woman. It doesn't prove anything. The concern for me is because I'm a nurturer. I want my kids to get good meal. I want my husband to eat from the house. It's just a lot, but I really don't care where the food is coming from, as long as it's good food. That's the honest truth, practically.
Let me come to you. Mariam, what are your initial thoughts on this?
I think when people just make this blanket statement, I can't believe married women are doing this, it's because of, you know, what we talk about, that the danger of a single story. You just look at a married woman, bam, and you don't put into consideration and appreciate the different factors that make a married woman today. There used to be a time, just as Nima has said, you know, there used to be a time when a woman could afford to do it. And let's remember that cooking is not a test of womanhood. It's just about caring and nurturing and feeding your family. So that's why we do it. We provide food so that we are feeding our husbands, our children, our parents, whatever. That's why we do it. So if I don't have the time to go through the process of it, but I've found different ways to make sure that food is provided, they're still being nourished and still being fed, why do you hold it against them that they are not involved in the process of getting it from the farm to the market and putting it on the stove and giving it on the plate? So I think these conversations are quite 18th century, for heaven's sakes. Let's move on. Let's understand that women are not cooking. It's not that they are refusing to cook because they hate to cook, or they hate their family, or they don't want to do anything, or they feel they're too much. Many people cannot afford to do that alongside with everything else that they are doing. The cooking is even the simplest things. The things that even hurt me the most that sometimes I can't do is, I can't be there for some of my children's school activities. Like today, I came to work much later than I would like because my daughter insisted since yesterday I must drop her off at school. And I know every time I do that, I'll get to work late. But I had to do it. So for me, that cooking the cooking does not bother. It's the list of the things. There are so many things that married women are sacrificing because they have to be at work, they have to do other things that are helpful, or even more helpful to the family. And if they are able to afford to give it to someone, then we should appreciate that they are still doing things to help on the family.
There are cases where in-laws, family members complain that you're wasting the resources of the house, something you can easily buy by yourself and cook. For the fact that you're getting a vendor, you're wasting money. It's wasteful to actually engage a vendor to cook these soups. So people have found, that family members have complained that, why is my son's wife wasting money? Something that she can easily do. It's not just to buy food in the freezer, the raw meat in the freezer, and then come home, chop, 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 or when we cook the pepper, and they'll give you all this kind of various systems that it's too much money because they'll ask you, this soup that you ordered, so how much is it now? Now look at the soup, this thing is cost half the price. So there's an issue of cost. Do you think it's wasteful, Waiki, when people who can afford it still try to get vendors, or maybe people should prefer the cheaper option? Because that's an argument families give, that it's too expensive. I want to hear what you say. Do you think
it's very difficult for me because you know me,
you order food?
No, I don't really order food.
He's a good cook.
I can cook. I cook when I want. So it's difficult for me to. I only cook when I want to, not because I have to. Because when you have to do it, your food will never be sweet. But when you want to do it, your food will be
That's the trick.
Very sweet.
Yes, that's so true.
This is a very difficult topic for me to engage in because I think that people should share in the household duties. I think women should make men's lives easier and men should make women's lives easier. It should be reciprocal. It shouldn't be one lording it over the other. But then, like I say, it's difficult. Yeah. I'm in a difficult position because I live alone. When I want to go to my partner, we meet ourselves. It's love we play. Yeah.
Let me come to Nima. Your thoughts on this, on the wastefulness.
I would think, rather than order food, though, I would rather employ somebody to cook for us.
Yes. So when it comes to cost, I take cost seriously because I'm what will you call the lowest wholesale market buyer. I go to the Jale. I shopped for Ramadan the day before yesterday. I had to to my 12 when I could have done it at Abulado, but because of cheaper prices. So I go to the cheapest. But when you talk about convenience, you pay any price. You pay the value for that convenience. The person that is cooking for you, that is rendering you a service, it's not just the cost of the food. So if you look at the entire plate and think it's the cost of... My sister-in-law used to buy everything from vendors, her food. And so she sends me 2 plates of ofada sauce once. And I was like, Because I remember if I want to make my own ofada sauce hot, I don't ever get it hot. I just get it, mild and everything. But this ofada sauce came like the Ayamatase one. Standard one, and it came very good. And the meat, everything was there. I knew the cost of it would be high, but she survived like that. It's the convenience of it. What I cannot understand is why you say the kitchen should have a particular gender. Hunger get gender. All of us are hungry. When these men that we're talking about that we must cook our way to their hearts, when they're in their offices, they buy food. Yes, now they don't have... You see, this is my own husband.
Some of them.
I hope he's watching.
From home.
My husband loves Igbo soups. And I cannot stand the stockfish, that okporoko fish. Growing up, I couldn't stand it. I eat it now because every time he brings his lunch and he could not finish from the office, or the one he could not eat, it was okporoko stuck to the neck. Do you understand? So just as Waike said, once in a while I want to win my way to his heart, I'm interested in cooking. perfect cooking, it will come out very nice. But if you are cooking for everybody to eat, you junk pack, but you put everything together.
Let's talk one or two
Yes,
outside.
about waste. I remember there used to be a time that I would get everything concerning foodstuff from Jos. One time my mom came and she went to the market here. She was like, yes, I understand it's expensive, but look at what you're doing. It costs she feels that the transportation makes up for the difference, or, you know, it's almost even the inconvenience of even doing that. So it's not for lack of, you know, it's not that I'm spoiled. It's just that I was, you know, here is a mother or a wife trying to find cheaper ways to do things. And so sometimes what you might think is waste is someone's actually putting effort to save. You don't live in the same person's house. You don't live in that person's house. You don't have all the different factors that affect how the person spends their money. If you don't have that sort of understanding, you would never know for sure whether it's wasteful or not. Many women have put this into consideration. You know, maybe we just think, I just woke up, I just need vendors to just provide this food. Yeah. Some people have sat down and they have calculated it. Okay, this will mean my time here to close from the office, go to the market, do this for how many hours, and if I do that, I will not be able to do homework with the children, I will not be able to do this, and I will not be able to do work that I've brought in, you know, work that I need to bring in from work, and then get back to work and be present, or even be present with the husband after, you know, in the other room. Right. All these things are put into consideration, and then they figured out, as a family for most people, as husbands and wives for most people, I say, you know what, this time that we spend to do these market runs and cooking runs, it's not the best use of our time, our resources. Let's give it to someone so that we can face more important things as of right now.
I like that part. I'm going to break now, but you said something quite important. One of the hardest parts of cooking is thinking about what to cook. That is the most difficult thing a woman can even engage.
The most exhausting.
It's exhausting. Yeah. Because you're thinking, you had dress yesterday, is it rice again? What are we going to do? So imagine if you have ordered granite soup, a dikaiko, you have like 5, 6 different kinds of soups in the house. All you have to do is pick about today, pick sebo tomorrow, pick amala, you know, whatever it is, you can have. So it's easier that way.
Remember when Mama Garlic used to come on the show? She said, a soup that is 2 days old is like a dead body.
Why can you mention Mama Garlic? For those of you that know who Mama Garlic, she used to be a frequent on our show, Auntie Monisola Olagunyon. And she was a healthy wellness coach. And then she was in Nigeria. Auntie Moni is in Americas now. So you're saying that she used to say food is dead in the freezer. I wonder how she's managing in the US, because I know she has to do work, just like she has to go and she has to put food in there. I doubt if she's cooking every single day in America. I know we can talk to her later to find out.
And help
but the truth is that help is expensive. So whether you like it or not, now that she has moved from Nigeria, from the time she get that idea that food in the freezer is dead, now that she's not in the US, I'd like to ask her what her views are. But the point is, things are different. And women are asking that we must review these roles of kitchen. Must I spend so much time in kitchen? There's an angle we've not discussed about. The issue of trust and spirituality. Many men feel that how would you allow that woman to give me food? That is, anything can happen. Are you okay? Because I remember there was a time on this show, one of my mentors, somebody gave us meat. Was it salad 2 years ago or something? Somebody just brought meat for us. And there was a recording on show that I just opened the pack and I ate. My mentor sent in a message, how can you just eat food like that? You didn't pray, you didn't sanctify, you just put it in your mouth. That is very careless of you. She now told my husband, don't mind how they will send her food and she doesn't eat it anyhow. Because he feels that any food from outside is a potential threat. So why would a woman therefore commission or get somebody else to cook food that your husband would eat? What you are doing, you are opening doors for invaders. That is what that's the mentality some men have.
Last year in November, I got help. And initially, because I cook, I'm the only, if any food is being eaten in my house, I'm the cook. And my help, we had these light issues with Kodisco that I kept going back and forth. So we're wasting food. So one day I told her, let's clear the freezer. And she found fish. And the fish was still fresh. It's okay, fry them. The smell of fried fish, because I was just there lounging with my husband and pressing my phone on a Saturday, and they were smelling fried fish. Somebody else cooking in this house. I thought, now. Was that our agreement? I said, which was agreement? I should be frying fish. It's just frying fish now. If you see this level of argument that day, it was not here. So we had to revisit the issue of me cooking. I said, in the past, I didn't have this much schedule of business. And even if I'm relaxing on my phone, I deserve that rest right now.
Right.
The fact that you want to make an issue out of whether somebody else is frying the fish, this person will start cooking because we are growing. So we had to sit down and have that. It was a tough one. It was like, no, I cannot imagine. I said, okay, don't imagine. So what I did was, any day I'm on the show and it's off work, I will not cook. I will just rush out of the house because it doesn't make any sense. I start cooking at 4 a.m. when I'm going to drive off and somebody else that wants to eat the food is still sleeping. It's not because we don't love or we don't respect. It's just practical that somebody else has to deal with it while I'm driving out.
Versus
not disrespect.
Dead food in the freezer. So if I order food now, according to what Mama Garlic said, it's frozen, it's dead. So would you rather your husband and children eat dead food that's been in the freezer, according to Mama Garlic, or eat healthy, everyday healthy food?
Mama Garlic cannot afford to. He knows how long I have to drive.
I don't, personally, once a soup is more than 3 days old, I will not touch it. Because the taste is so different. It's different from, Nigerian, a lot of Nigerian soups are better the next day.
Yes, the next day. Yes.
Because that time it has soaked the
seasoning.
But try it 3 days after that, you don't get taste. It's not, the leaf has done like this. And so, I personally, after 3 days, 4 days, I won't touch that soup. So when you go and order 4 or 5 soups and put it in the freezer, it will take you like 2-3 weeks to eat those 4 or 5 soups. So is it not better? I'm not saying cook it, employ somebody. And if they say another woman is cooking for your husband, you tell your husband, it's a man that is driving me. Am I going to sleep with the man because he's driving me?
Thank you.
Clap.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Clap.
Yeah,
but see, don't we all buy...
I even had a response for that. You're opening up your husband to things. I wanted to ask exactly what things. I know of women that cook morning, afternoon, and night, and their husband open himself by himself up to 10. So please don't even use that argument. It makes no sense. But also, as Waiki said, she doesn't eat. It's just it's luxury. I remember when I first came to Lagos, when I would eat stew, I'd be wondering, there's something metallic in this stew. I used to always insist there was something metallic in the stew. Because I'm from Jos. We just go, we get our fresh tomatoes, pepper, everything, we grind it, we use fresh. And now realize in Lagos, they mix it with
tomato paste.
Yes, tomato paste. So that was the metallic taste. Now, I don't taste that.
You blended.
No, but I refuse to eat tomato paste.
It's your choice.
Like for me now in my house, it's not something that I would eat. Personally, I don't even eat it. But if you give it to me now, anywhere I go, I don't taste it anymore.
But abroad, isn't there frozen food in the shelves, in the stores? They have their pizza is frozen, everything.
That's why they always have cancer there.
So the point is that there's frozen food across the world. But do you know that if you buy fresh food and freeze it once, right? The next time you open it up and eat it completely, it's just as healthy. The problem is when you keep rewarming it.
Exactly.
So you don't need to rewarm it. Just bring it out once and you guys consume it once and for all, and it's still perfectly fresh. So it's not dead food.
So for me, what works is what you just said. What I do is I cook all the soups. In the past, so not now anymore. I cook all the soups on a particular day. So I can be in the kitchen morning till 12 midnight on a Saturday, cooking different soups. And as I portion them, it's per meal. So we're a family of 4. We used to be a family of 4. One small plate like this can be exhausted within the day. But sometimes you see soup left over. Then when NEPA happens, all my neighbors will be getting plates as gifts because we have to clear it. Those soups that you cook is still an issue for some people. That's why I said YK is just a Yoruba woman. You see Yolu, she would never eat soup out of my freezer. Say, freezer. She would never eat soup out of my freezer.
My own house, there are rules because me, I like my rules. My rules are very clear. Every day, any leftover for the day is breakfast for the next morning. So if we had a soup and okra soup today, if it's leftover, that's somebody's breakfast. I'm not in the house in the mornings anyway. But whoever is around that wants to eat it, that is breakfast. Everybody, that's it. During the week, if we have so many leftovers, Friday evening, that's our dinner. Everybody open up all the freezer, anything in the freezer. Friday evening, open it up, we finish it. And then fresh, we now start doing the fresh on Saturday. So there's a system that works in my own house. However, the reason why I'm having this conversation is that we need to re-understand or reevaluate why women should be in the kitchen or not, why we should eat fresh food or not, and why we can order food or not. I know my husband, me, I love to order good food. When I see somebody, and I have a friend, she's probably watching. My husband's friend, actually. She makes fantastic fisherman soup. She knows herself. Fantastic fisherman soup. She sent it to me during Christmas. She sent it to us. Yeah, I wanted to order. Brown just doesn't like the idea of ordering food. He doesn't tell me a reason, but he just doesn't like the idea of from outside. Yeah, I eat it though. Once it comes like this, I find out badly. I say, don't give my children. Once it goes upstairs, sit down, everybody, let's eat. Because
I hope he's not watching.
no, you'll be all right. but you know, Brown doesn't watch. But the point is, why do some men just have an issue eating from outside?
I think the way they do. For me,
goes to the background.
My mother's kitchen was kitchen for my auntie, my neighbors, my friends in school. We were a battalion. We know the red and blue cooler. And if they're watching those ones in London, they remember the red and blue cooler every day. So I'm used to people, we are cooking in our house, minding our business on a Saturday morning. They are making pap, because we make akara every morning on weekends. They're making pap in their flats, waiting for Alaja's akara. So now, if you're cooking in your house, and I think you're a neighbor that I'm open to, I can show up with my plate that the food reaches us. That's how I grew up. We were serving, you know, when I peeled that beans on Saturday morning, I was never smiling. My mother would never give you 1 derika, 2 derika of beans to peel on Saturday morning. She wants to feed the entire block.
Yes.
You're constantly peeling.
Constantly peeling. Everybody that knew us then in Ibadan State knew the girls were always peeling beans in the morning. We're not selling it. We're feeding. People will wait for that akara for their breakfast. So me now, if I show up in your house, you are cooking any food. There's nowhere they are cooking food. Food is a welcome.
Let me take this call from Raquel. We're going to wrap up on this because I think we've touched on all the issues. Raquel, you're live. Thanks for calling.
From Delta State.
Welcome.
I'm a first-time caller.
Yes, so welcome to the show.
In fact, I'll be angry with you. The day of my birthday, I called to contribute. You didn't pick my call. I was so mad at you.
Sorry.
I was February 14, but I forgave you because I love you.
Sorry, thank you.
Yeah, so the discussion this morning is a wonderful one. It's not a wrong thing for a woman to order a food from a vendor. But it is wrong for a woman to consistently order food from a vendor. It's a good thing for every woman to know how to cook good meal for her family. If you can cook a good meal for your family, not only your husband will love you, to be sincere, your children will love you. In fact, it will not make how do I put it? It will close the door for outsiders to be able to penetrate your home. Because the easiest way to get any family at all is through me. I'm a caterer. But, you know, sometimes I wonder why some women cannot, you know, cook for their family. But not that you can ask a vendor, for instance, to cook, maybe dish it in different container. You put it in your freezer. When you need, you can serve from it and warm for your children, for your husband to eat. If you find out that maybe your schedule is too busy, you are a busy woman, working class person, you can as well set aside a day that you can cook different meals and dish in your freezer.
Thank you very much, Raquel, for your contribution.
The truth is, if I want, I always, when I'm cooking, I like my partner to come. Because I know I will cook and I will feed him. I'll say, I cook this food, you know. So there is a joy you get from cooking for your partner. But when it's a duty, it's work.
When it's a family, YK, the partner is easy. It was just me and my partner.
When I cook, I will feed. It's not only me that will eat the food. It's not only my partner. The whole house will eat. Because
I have a household of 11 people. I'm not going to be cooking for 11 people every single day. Hell no. That's why I have people in my house to cook.
That's why I say, employ somebody.
Yeah.
But as an aside, do you know that? Do you use the back of yam to boil your yam?
No.
Yes, I do.
How do you use the back of yam?
I just learnt it.
How?
Yesterday.
How do you do that? How?
That you don't boil it with the peel. Yam.
Yes.
Oh, really? Why? Well, the nutrients stay on.
They stay
I've
in the
always
yam.
known that for potatoes.
But there's this
like that. But
particular...
because yam can be quite dirty and...
no, you sponge it.
I don't do that. But I was going to say that we need to, nobody is saying that they don't want to cook for their family or they decide they will not cook for their family because they'll just rather. There is, it's a sort of bonding activity, actually, cooking.
Yes.
And my children, they know some of the meals that I make. They're like, Mom, are you making this particular meal? They know that's my time, and I do. Even their daddy has his own special things that he does, like Sundays. He'd be like, is daddy special, whatever, today? So, and I like that my children have that example
time,
to see that any one of us can do it. So any one of them can do it. And they also understand that we help each other. There used to be a time where my help will go home only 1 weekend a month. Now that my children are older, they go home, she goes home 2 weekends a month, because I want at the weekends my children to be able to do some things. We are all in the kitchen. It's more interesting when we're all doing it together. And that is what, we should encourage. Then talking about you with your large family, we also forget that the way our mothers or grandmothers used to do it in big homes, they had help, lots of help.
Exactly.
There's the person that will go to the market, the person that will grind the thing, the person that will put it, the person that is watching, the person that is sharing the food. Not one single person is allowed to do this over and over.
Let me pause you for a second here.
There's some homes where they have like different wives and mothers. Today is this wife's turn.
Yes.
So men need to understand, or people that complain need to understand
Dynamics
that there
are
has
different.
always been a system. The system was never about overburdening one single person over and over again.
Let me take this call from Benjamin. He's holding for a minute. Good morning, Benjamin from Oyo. You're live.
Good morning.
Morning.
You are welcome. I appreciate you and your colleagues over there. So let me just put this first. Just remember that this is Africa. And this is Nigeria. Now, but what everyone wants to bring in now is that we want to live a Western world, whereby it is very, very different from our culture. Even in this Nigeria we are talking about, Yoruba culture is different from that of Edo. That of Edo is different from that of Hausa and all those ones we have with Calabar and those ones. But now, this is what I want to tell you. In some families, husband will be the commander. In some families, the wife will be the commander. In some families, nobody is the commander. They agree. And so on and so forth. There is individual differences. If you want to be a good wife, according to these biblical facts and the Quranic facts, a submissive wife must consider what her husband likes most.
Oh, we wanted to hear Benjamin. What happened? Oh, sugar. So let me touch on what Benjamin said, because this is part of tradition. It's a big part of this conversation. And in all over the world, traditions evolve, things change. For example, let me use myself as an example. As growing up, the only place I washed my clothes was when I was in secondary school in Corona, when I was in boarding house. You have to wash your clothes. But the truth is, when I go home for holidays, I didn't wash clothes because there was somebody in the house to wash clothes. All through my life, the truth, I never washed clothes because somebody always helped me to wash it. So I used to be bashed and laughed at. And this one, I cannot wash clothes. Yeah, I had aunties that used to laugh at me that didn't wash clothes. But by God's grace and mercy, I went to the US. Hey, washing machine, hallelujah, somebody. I threw my clothes in there. I didn't have to worry because there was an auntie then that used to yell at me that, look at how, because then I was a kid and I was sometimes being silly. I would just leave my clothes, lift them up. Somebody helps to help me wash. But by the time I got to the US, I saw a washing machine. I put my clothes in the washing machine, and I never have to think about washing my clothes again. Although my mother taught me how to wash your basic underwears and socks. But the thing is that technology, things change. So in your own mind, traditionally, you must learn how to wash clothes. But in somebody else's traditional reality, washing clothes is the least because they've moved on. They have a washing machine. So in some cases, cooking is important for you. But in some other cultures, listen, there are machines that can actually throw it in.
Let's break it down with some life happening.
Sometimes
life happening. Just a minute,
sorry.
Miriam. Just sometimes life happening to us.
Yes.
So it's a woman's duty to cook. My own reality is that I had always been the cook. Yeah. And then something happens. They say, Nima, be on your bed, on your back for this long. Then the option of buying food is now an option. Because my husband will just say, okay, who are we going to call to be cooking? I'll be like, no, now that I can't cook, you cook. Because I know he cooks well. And cooking for him worries his head. He will buy food. So that option is, you see, that option just, I think is something to box a woman with. If hungry catch you, you go chop. That's the truth. It doesn't matter where the food is from. Some of these men, when they are hungry, if their mothers are alive, you say, okay, or their mothers are close by, they will drive down and eat. They don't worry about who cooks what. So it's boxing, insisting that it is the tradition of a woman that worries, that puts women in such a position where they are overworked and used over time. You cannot then have another life or any life. In today's reality where you are bringing, your wife is bringing. I like as the caller called, I believe in tradition well. And as a Muslim woman whose husband will fully provide for me, I will cook for him. But the reality is that something will happen sometime. And then these options that we say are not options become options.
Fantastic. Let me take Medina. I'll come to you, Miriam. Medina, thanks for calling. You're live. Morning.
Good morning, Mariam. Good
Morning.
morning, everyone.
Good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, please. I want to contribute to this important discussion. You can still be a good housewife and still be a working mother. I thought, unlike me, when I was getting married, my dad told me, if you want to be a working wife, your kitchen should always be the first thing. So when I come back from work, I just throw away my things and go to the kitchen, and that's how I've been living for the past 13 years. So you can still be a good housewife and still be a good working mother. But unlike, as you earlier said, Miriam, thinking of what to cook can be very traumatic. So ordering food for some time is not something that is a big deal, but making...
We're still discussing food, the way to a man's hearts, and how evolution, technology, everything is making us look at things differently. YK has some comments on social media, please.
Yes, Dame Edwika says, I guess everyone does what works for their home. Yeah. Both men and women should know how to cook. It's not just a woman's destiny to cook. Dennis Ode says, and you think, and if you think you don't know how to cook, there's always room for learning. Yes. Words of wisdom from the caller. A woman who can cook makes a good wife and a loving mother. Miriam Fagbule, all women should cook in their house.
Okay. Let me say this one.
Ghanaian, okay, go on.
Dean Ibrahim says, although this issue differs from family, cooking food for the family isn't a chore. It's something greater than that. It serves as love, memories, and bonding. For instance, the feeling the hubby gets after a fulfilled meal and the longing of the children when they are far from home. I agree.
Let me just take this
one. He says, but it will be different if it's a man ordering foods from the same vendor. Would we as women mind? Personally, because I wonder what things she put inside the soup for you to keep reordering.
Okay, let me take this call from Magodo. Olawi, are you there?
Yes, I am.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Okay. I think for any modern day woman to be able to manage her work and her home effectively, you have to know how to keep what, for when. Because, okay, like now, this is the time to save your pepper for the rainy day. And when I mean pepper does not mean money. It actually means pepper. As a working woman now, you know, by April ending now, the price of peppers, tomatoes, and all whatnot will begin to go up. So you have to know how to preserve some.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it was a bit so preserving. I think it's preserving.
I do that now. So that's the only reason I cook fresh.
Yeah. So I was going to say that, you know, we had a person who said her father said if one of the most important is the kitchen, she finishes from work and then she goes straight to the kitchen. And I think also when we were talking, we should remember to be a bit more open-minded. So living and commuting in Lagos is very different from living and commuting in Jos. You can go to work. You see, in Jos, you can drive out, drop your children in school, still get to work very early, close, still get home, take a little nap and rest, and still go to the market and come back and cook. So I would like for us to appreciate other people's challenges. The Lagos wife. Or mother is up 4 a.m. and she's getting ready to go to work, make sure that the children also leave for school. Many Lagos children leave home at 5 a.m. And I'm talking babies, 6 months old. You see them, they are taking them out. Because if they don't leave at that time, parents will not get to work, and then you'll be stuck at home. The child will be at home with no one to take care of. And then they are in traffic for hours before they get to work. They get to work, they close. Sometimes we've had, I mean, it was just last week, we had people who, a colleague here that was telling me she didn't get home until 3 a.m. It can happen. So imagine she gets home and the house was waiting for her to come and cook 3 a.m. You know, so when we have conversations like this, let's also understand that people have their challenges. Yeah. And you see, one thing I've also noticed with women that have these challenges, when they have the time, they make, you see how they hold on to their weekends and to rest and also to sit down with the family and provide. So it's not, it is unfair to judge everyone, you know, with one brush.
Let me take this call. Barrister Loretta from Warri.
Yes, good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yes, thank you. This issue of women cooking is not just only married women with families. You know, even with single women, and I believe it has to do with professional women. Like I stay in the city of Warri, it's not as big as Lagos. But we are very busy. We are lawyers. We run our own business. Because these days, women own their own companies. You know, like I can have my own private practice. You know, by the time in fact, everything. By the time you get home, you tell, like, I enjoy cooking. I love cooking. I'm a good cook, you know. But at times, you're like, I am tired. I have to order food. You know, then I find that you're less busy, you can cook. So it doesn't have anything to do with whether married women or women with family. These days, women are very busy. Yeah. Their input in the family, even in the nation, it's so quick that I don't even understand. So it's not just only married women with family.
Fantastic. Absolutely, Roberta, you're correct. You know, I remember when I just recently got married, you know, when I cook, I like to cook with orishi. I'll buy some king prawns, I get some mushrooms, I do all those pene. Then my kids started coming in, and gradually the mouths were increasing. Then you have the nanny. Then you can't be cooking your own mede, and then the house is looking at you. You have to also... So my own taste got to be different. So I allow them to cook the regular rice, stew, amala, for everything. When I want to cook, I now cook. But you see, even now with 4 kids, I can't do my mede alone. I got 4 kids. They got to eat because, Mommy, what I eat, can I have some? Before you say, can I have some? 4 children are already... And I eat so I don't even bother. Because I let the regular house meals of the Efodila, because the whole house can eat that. Once in a while, when I feel like I want to eat something different, I now go to I give them notice. Guys, I'm coming the Saturday morning, please. Everybody should clear for my kitchen. Yeah. You know, and then everybody leaves. I'm there alone, and I can explore as much as I want. And I make enough. But I can't do that every day. It's not every day. I can't do that every day. So that's why I have helps in the house. Their own job, they know exactly. There's a timetable of what to go. I can't start thinking of, should we eat yam yesterday? I've written it out already. Recently, these are the various soups we have per day. This is what you already just don't think about it. Just cook it.
Recently, my mother-in-law is...
I want to just take...
And I don't cook. I don't want to give her salt because she's aging. And everybody has been eating no salt food. Even my children.
So everybody...
Because I cannot imagine finishing one pot, starting another pot. No. Yeah. I can try once, but not every.
Yes, go ahead.
Andrew in Chatham says, all women that order food from outside, they will say, honey, let's order jollof from Mr. That's the Ajebota way of having family meals. And then Zina says, please, married women, don't stop ordering. No, I beg. Don't make me jobless.
Okay, that's it. Let me take Altumba Karim. Good morning, ladies. Much as I agree that the demand of a woman in the house is much, I totally disagree with ordering food from vendors for so many reasons, chiefly among is food poisoning. It is said that one of the many routes to the heart of a man is through his food. My solution, men also should learn to cook, take over the cooking at times, and assist your woman. You should be a support to each other. I would rather cook myself than buy food outside. That's also Let me take this call from Essie, and I'll come to you, Nima. Essie from Abuja, you're live. Go ahead, please.
Good morning.
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 Yeah, I'd like to share my own experience, or should I say my starting school as it is. So I'm a 27-year-old female living in Abuja alone. I do not cook. I do not do any house chores. But the thing is, I cannot even eat a meal that was prepared in the morning in the afternoon because of health issues. Now, I do have someone who does all of that every day. I have 2 people who do that every day for me. In getting married, when I'm going to get married, I will definitely marry someone who understands that. I have to live with that kind of help. So it's all about compatibility and understanding for me.
Fantastic, Isi. Let me take Obiajulu.
Yes.
You're going to read Obiajulu?
I was going to read
Okay, go ahead. Let's read Obiajulu.
Okay, Bisi says, you cannot be a good housewife and a good working wife at the same time. except you don't want to grow in your career, something must give. If you are highly successful in one, you're definitely failing in the other. I think women need to normalize making peace with that. We are not superhumans, except, of course, you want to die and wear off like old clothes, honestly not sustainable. And said, what if the woman cannot cook? When she cooks, the food is never sweet. Do you subject the entire family to such food? And I know the reality for some men is to outsource their cooking in their house because they love their wives.
Yes.
I have a childhood friend whose father was the one teaching his mother how to do amala and do all the foods because he needed to cover a secret from family. And one just said, okay, no, my wife would never cook. No matter the event, she comes with her caterers. She's always with her caterers. So are we discussing all those? It works differently.
I'm just lost. Yeah, go ahead.
Because during the break in the studio, one of the producers was saying he can't eat food from outside. If they put juju inside the food for him, which is the mindset of a lot of men. That
they cook before for you to
Jeffo. That's in Yoruba's best. What is Jeffo? Look at she's following. You know, so I think the solution is man and woman learn. A lot of women like. My auntie, when we were growing up, she would carry my brother to the Auntie Sonia. I don't know if she remembers. Femi cooked the best egusi, and she was taught by my auntie. This is how to cook egusi. Yeah. So Femi is the one that used to cook the egusi in the house. None of us knew.
But do you know,
I couldn't even cook in those days. You know, but the foolish boy now has forgotten how to cook.
Let me even take brother of 60s, foolish boy. I have a call. Good morning, Prince.
Yeah, good morning, my sister.
Morning.
Yeah, the issue there is, why I want to chip into this conversation now, anybody that is lazy is lazy. I learned this from my father when we were kids. They support my mom in cooking. So when I grew up, I took that habit. I also support my wife in cooking. And I brought out my kids. I have girls, set of girls, they are twins. 4 sets of girls. So I also brought them out how to cook. You shouldn't put all the burden on these women alone.
Thank you, Prince.
You shouldn't put all this burden. You want to kill them. You didn't marry them to be a slave. So if I want to cook, I bring my kids. They are still small, 6 years, 8 years. Okay, oh yeah, you get this one, get this pepper, get this one, get this one. And now they've known how to cook. They know how to do things on their own.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Prince. So there's also part of how do we, for those of us that are not very prevalent in cooking, not very frequent in cooking, how do we ensure that our children too learn how to cook so they're not stuck with the same problem in the future?
Our children are so resilient.
And they will find a way
They find a way. You're not doing it. My children, to a certain extent, they can make spaghetti, pasta, they do sandwiches, my daughter makes really good salads from watching me do it. And sometimes they don't even have, they will do the eggs, Yes, they may not be able to do egusi soup and okra soup just yet, but the way that Lagos children are, because they understand how they've developed a different set of survival skills. Right. They will enter the kitchen and sort themselves out. The way a person that lives in another place, so the different skills that person will pick up because of their environment, that's what happened. I was going to say that some families, talking about either getting food from vendors or getting an in-house help, I know that there are some families that it's a decision they have to make because, okay, we both work, the child is in school, and we're not comfortable leaving an in-house person in the house. And if we were to pay an in-house help, then for most of the day when we're out, that person is doing nothing. That's money just going to nothing. So I would rather have food coming at the weekend, I put in the freezer. When we come back, when you come back, you can take it out of the freezer, warm it for yourself and eat. So these are conversations. These are not just flippant conversations or decisions people take. These are conversations that they're putting into consideration finances, availability in the house, what really is convenient and works well for a house.
So, Miriam, I was going to say, what if you have the children that don't want to listen? Because my mother, she used to drag me to the kitchen. When she's cooking like this, I'm looking at her. Is she going to force my head into the pot? I refuse. My mother carried me. I would not. And for getting my own food was very easy. Bread. I can eat a whole loaf of bread. Don't leave me. So I didn't learn.
So that's an interesting part. Let me come to you, Nima.
So for me, growing up, we were 4 girls. I had 2 elder sisters who would cook every day. And so I didn't have any interest in cooking. For me, my mother was punishing me, forcing me to cook. So what she did was put up a roaster in the house.
Yes.
And my days of cooking were fixed. So any day I'm in the kitchen, everybody will eat over-salted, over-peppered, punishment of a food. It was only my dad who put up with my food growing up. I just had to improve out of the shame over time. But they found a way to get me to the kitchen. One thing I always say to my husband now is, my daughter now, she's just 10. She does jollof rice. She tries with her food because she's always with me. Then you see my son will come to the kitchen, will put up an apron, and he'll be bouncing around. Bouncing around. At the end of the day, we'll ask for that is special cereal, and he will eat. My husband is wondering, how did you teach this one and you're not teaching this one when the 2 of them are watching the examples? Each of them have chosen their path. If their daddy is always bouncing around the kitchen, whenever he's helping me to cook, he's always bouncing around the kitchen, picking food, bouncing around. So that's what his son is doing.
So, you see, I was going to say that I've been very lucky because thank God I'm married to a man that doesn't like you slaving in the kitchen. In fact, Brown doesn't like it at all. Because his own love language is conversation. So once I come back, he's like, hey, let's somebody. So he was happy and okay with the idea of getting somebody to do the food. Yes, once in a while, you and I can, but that's everyday one. Let somebody else handle it. But you see, I have shared the story before also that when I got married, was after I got married or maybe during where I was dating my husband, that I knew for the first time that you can actually cook regular stew with palm oil. I never knew that until I met my husband's mother, who cooked regular red stew with palm oil. It was my first time I saw it in Ife when I went to go and see them. Between Ife and coming back to Lagos, I was stooling. They kept stopping on the road for me because I had never eaten palm oil in stew before. I was just stooling. It was a horrible experience.
That's the only thing you can do.
So there are some of us that don't have that exposure to that, to know the various, all this nice. I'm just knowing about all this Igbo soup. I'm just learning that, and I love them. So for those of us that are not really into kitchen, there's nothing wrong in you getting somebody to handle it. And therefore, we must come to terms with the fact that it's not the same thing for everybody else. Some people can slave themselves in the kitchen, and they're fine. It's not slaving to them. It's a normal life. Others, it's a chore. And when you come to terms, and that's what Obiajulu was saying, that we must come to accept your reality. And therefore, if you are lucky enough and blessed enough to have a spouse who understands it, then you can arrange it where it's comfortable. So it's different in different people's houses.
So here is the reality now. When I'm cooking, I love it because I am cooking for my family. But when they make it a duty of you are the wife, the moment I don't know, there's some form of abuse from childhood. If you make it a duty, I will spoil that food. It's not deliberate, it's just the mindset. I will not cook it. It won't turn out right. It will be bad. I don't like the duty thing.
The first time
I
tasted house soup in my life, it was my boyfriend that cooked it for me. Igbo. It was Igbo. Serious. That was the day I fell in love.
And I like it when men cook.
When a man can
your husband
cook, a man can cook.
He does something.
I cannot boil water.
My husband can boil water.
He doesn't have to turn on the gas cooker.
I think that's my love language.
I think you are safe. It's a gift, though, because my husband can cook, hates to cook as well. Right. He doesn't cook. So when the food turns out bad, I'm just
he knows the difference.
He will tell you this food is poor. He's bad. He will complain because he can cook, but he just doesn't cook. Yeah. Even when I'm sick, he will rather go and buy the food.
But my partner can cook. When he was still toasting me, just used to cook Togo food for me. I loved it. Anyway, Shami, I like
any
food,
good food. You see,
like food is food.
Let me take
food is food. Good food that tastes good is okay for me.
Latter comment. She said, I used to leave the hospital after giving birth and go straight to the kitchen to cook back in the day. But I can't try it now. I cooked for all my naming ceremonies after 8 days of childbirth because I love cooking. According to her, I haven't entered my own kitchen since last December. As you grow, it becomes unsustainable to be excellent in all. That's why some women choose to be full housewives so they can focus on raising their children and nurturing the home. So yes, as we grow older, we have to make those hard choices. Now let's bring it home now. So when you're early in marriage, the kids are growing up, you are still this nice, perfect housewife, everybody cooking nicely. But as you're growing in your career and you're building, and even your kids are now growing up, is it time for you to start the reality that there are new choices? I cannot continue to stay in the kitchen for hours because I have dreams. I want to write a book. I want to go for conferences. I want to speak to young people. I want to inspire others. I want to do so many things for my community. I can't just be at home thinking about what to make for dinner, seeing that I don't have a goosey in the house. I don't have, I need.
So Miriam just explained it earlier.
Other options.
Our circumstances are different, they vary, and the realities vary. So I'm a Lagos wife, mother, everything, and a career woman. If it will take you 2 hours from your workplace to the house, times 2 is what it will take me.
Or 5,
It's my reality, or 5. Sometimes we're getting home together, 5 minutes apart, very late. Still happened on Sunday. 5 minutes apart, very late. So my husband took the kids out. He fed them before he got home because this one that your mommy is saying she will finish that mental health conference. It's most likely that we will not eat this night. But I came home and I still made dinner. But the truth is, as you grow older, just as Bisi said, those realities force you to adjust. I had always been the one. I always said, if a food is coming from my kitchen in my house, I'm the one who cooked it. Yeah. But that's reality. That thing have changed since.
Exactly.
It has since changed, and I've accepted it.
Yes.
I cannot be doing it. In the past, I used to be the one who will carry breakfast and pursue my husband to the car. You must eat my food for lunch.
Imagine.
You must eat it for breakfast.
That was then.
If you eat now, you're okay. Have you eaten?
My mom,
Let me take it before I come to you. Ade's calling from London. Good morning, Ade. You're live.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
I've been listening to everything everybody is saying.
Okay.
You are all saying good things.
Yes.
But my own advice is this. The best thing is for you to cook at home. If you are tired, get a maid to help you at home. I'm not in support of buying food from outside. As I'm talking to you now, I'm about to cook a body roll for myself. And I'm close to 70. So the best thing is that cook at your own food is the best. Don't buy food from outside. You don't know what they use to cook that food. So you have to secure the life of your family.
Thank you very much.
Getting a chef is
that's true, but there's also that the vendor thing that we do now is most people know them. They're small-time vendors. You know them to a certain degree. You're able to say, this is where this person is, this is what they're doing, this is the... these are the sort of things that they use in their food. It's not usually like those far-off random vendors. So people, that's the thing about women. We're constantly looking for different ways to make things work. And we're putting into consideration our health, our children's health, our family's health.
We moved to this new house, and my mother-in-law was asking my help because she told me when she gave me this the mortar. Okay. Yeah, she gave me when I got married. It was a gift, and for her, I remember I told you it was like she told me, don't misplace it. It's my gift to you for pounding yam. So when we now moved to this new house, in this my new house, I don't have a store to put these kind of things. So I left it in the old house. So she didn't come to ask me. She was just asking my help. So did your auntie throw away that mortar I gave her? Because she was worried. It's quite significant for her because she wants me. She likes me once in a while where I'm pounding. For her, it's a thing of pride, and I'm using that stuff. And I'm using a pounder machine. Yeah. They have a pounder machine in the house.
So the difference is...
She used to use it in my house.
Okay.
So it was in my house, but when she wants to cook me, I have the machine. I've always had the machine. But when I wanted her to be, I've never pounded. I can't lie about that. But she wants us to be pounding in the house. My help is there to help her to pound it. And she enjoys it. But now, I can't have that thing in my house. I don't have a store. So she's not happy that it's not in our house, our new house.
I grew up in a house
where I
saw...
At the back.
Find storage space.
And put it there. Anyway, I grew up in a house where my mom always used the pounding machine. So I did not see that. Yes, the people that did it were different. Like, oh, nice. But did you know that there's technology?
Exactly.
So that's how I grew up.
It's hot. It will remain hot with the pounder machine. This one is not cold.
Don't say that to our people.
Excuse me.
Pounded yam in the mortar can be very hot.
I went
burning your hands.
Brian's father-in-law's
burial.
And they served those
hot pounded yam from mortar.
Pounded yam, I cannot forget.
Well, do that.
Me, that time, I was on one stupid diet that I didn't want to be eating pounded yam. I dreamt about it for more than 2 weeks.
It's pounded yam we are talking about. But pounded yam brings me to respect. Because it's a meal that I was 12 when my parents first of all put a mortar in front of me. Yeah. Now, Chige, you must pound yam. And this is my wrist. They're so tiny. I remember pounding and all my yam had small seeds inside. Everybody talked about it. Shame catch me. So anytime I see they are pounding yam somewhere and the thing is drawing, I'll visit you. I'll be so respectful. I'll be
Because
so
you
nice.
understand.
I know the stress, the effort.
You see, we draw
That your
like
Nigerian is
this.
hot.
Like
Have you tried the one in the machine?
Excuse me.
Okay, it
When
draws
it draws-
exactly the
When
same. It draws exactly. It's hot.
Difference day.
The pounder yam
I
turns
have no
it and it's
problem.
smooth.
You have
I
never
have
used
no
the mortar
problem
until
with
sit down.
If
I have a machine now.
Excuse me, I have no problem with the machine, but you see that natural one. Hey,
Go see, I
And
don't
then
like it.
more.
there must be nutrients from the
Did you
water.
ever see the stone?
When you do like this, it will do like rubber
Did you
band.
guys ever meet
I had
the
grinding stone.
grinding stone?
When you swallow it, it will go.
That's
thing.
That I don't swallow, I chew. I can't
Modern day
swallow.
cooking also, aside from the pounded
I
yam,
don't
modern day
understand
cooking,
why.
my mother-in-law also does that washing of vegetable with hot water.
No.
You know, we've learned now that that is dead, that is dead. But her Laila, she doesn't want to
Eh,
get it.
for
If
sure,
you don't
for
wash
those days,
that
it's not
effort
soft.
in hot water, she's seen the steam, you've not cooked. So that's part of the evolution in cooking. Because
Yes.
our mothers are there to make it look as if, this is how it must be done. No, things have changed.
but
My mother will
we
not
need
eat
to
your
be
food. If you
sincere.
don't eat, if you don't cook
But
that,
Right, there are
Things are
taste,
good,
there
but
are
there are
taste
things-
difference.
Yes.
You see this stone grinding, I hate it.
That
But I
grinding
know
stone.
whenever they put it, they use
Auntie,
that
there's
stone
no
to grind. Wait,
difference.
auntie, calm down.
There's no
If they use it
difference.
to do your pepper for beans, Mura, I'm telling you for a fact, I've eaten all of them. When we moved to Obadori, I remember my
stone.
parents. They bought, my
Has a
parents went to
taste.
Abeokuta and
No,
got
that's
us that
not true,
stone.
Waike.
No, Mura, don't
Stone
say
has a
it.
taste.
Every of
It's
them
just
get
like
their
this.
difference.
It's when you eat moi moi in plastic or tin, and you eat moi moi inside leaf. The
It's
difference is
different
clear.
taste, yes.
You know,
They're not mates
don't
now.
let us
They're not mates.
throw away our.
And you know, we also do a good job recently of trying to marry the two. We have people who do these jollof rice spices, and then they'll tell you, like firewood, they'll do firewood jollof
Yes,
rice spice.
bottom pot.
Because flavor, because we understand that there's something that comes with the way we originally
Yes.
But when
Like,
the world,
let
when
me
we're
take this call.
involving with a lot of things,
Yes.
When Alaba cooks jollof rice for you, you to know
Like
try
You know
jollof
now.
rice.
And
now.
that, no, see, Auntie Alaba's jollof rice is in a different world on its own. That can't bring that one to this
Respect
conversation.
for your
That
woman.
one needs correct respect and regard. That shrine rice is a different institution on its own. Forget it. You can't compare.
Shrine rice.
Shrine rice is
it's
a different
not
matter.
good
That one, if you have not tasted shrine rice, trust me, you've not
all
eaten
I
rice.
will
not
tell you
eating
that
That
if
rice-
you're on a keto diet,
Eh?
you will break the keto
Okay,
diet.
so don't bring shrine rice here. It's a different
It's not
conversation.
part of the tradition that we are talking.
Shrine rice, that one, this needs to be studied separately.
You go
Let
and
me
cook
take
moi moi in a tin.
Let me take Chukudi. Chukudi, thanks for calling. You're live.
I don't get the leave right.
I can't believe we talk. Hi, Chukudi, you're live. Go
We're
ahead,
talking
please.
about different food.
Okay. I want to contribute to the hot topic.
Please do.
My wife, she's not a fan of goat meat,
Goat meat, okay?
and I like goat meat a lot. So, yeah, she has difficulty in preparing it for me. So, yeah, she sometimes has to contract, get vendors that prepare the goat meat and bring for me to eat. So I think there's no real shame in that, because she's not a fan of goat meat. She doesn't like goat meat at all. But I love goat meat.
And you make
See,
it
it's
work.
every
Do
home,
you know, it was
every,
my
home,
adulthood I learned to eat goat meat. I think
every home is different.
Yeah,
You know, you guys know that I have Mama Brown and Momo. Momo, give her anything. Give her spaghetti. Give her salad. Give her,
Amazing.
she will eat. Momo will eat. Momo is going to be 98 this year. Anything Momo eats. Momo will drink soft drink. She will eat it down, drink anything. But Mama Brown, oh, she's quite. Mama Brown, you cannot just begin Mama Brown anything. So you see, when you have a home where there are different tastes and people taste that you must respect. You know, kids, you can force them. You're eating chips tonight. That's it. But Mama Brown wants this thing. Mama wants this thing. I can't have that headache. That's why. So every home is different. You have to then have somebody that is your auntie. Your own job is to find out the headache between Mama Brown and
solve
Momo
it. It's
and
a job.
solve it.
It's
a
a job.
role.
I will pay
Think
you
of
for
what they
that.
want today, merge it and make it.
Sort everybody out.
Everybody is sorted. So everybody must do according to what works for you. But the reason why we're having this conversation is like men must begin to understand and review the expectations they have of their wives, considering the realities of today's
Just because
modern
I
life.
put Zip on the spot a lot, let me just say I appreciate the fact that he understands my health. When I say I am tired,
Yes.
everybody will drink yogurt if that's what is available. When I say I'm tired, and the truth is, and he always says one thing: if you marry somebody, you want to grow old with that person. You don't want to wear the person out. If the person is telling you this thing is becoming load, you are saying no. It's my mother that cook all our food. Is your mother carrying the same role? Are their bodies the same? Are their balances and hormonal whatever? Is it the same? So you cannot compare the women. I love this traditional thing. My mom, I saw my mom stressed. I remember taking my kids away from the house one time When I went, she likes to do it all by herself. I just went to the house. I saw my mother. I felt she was overworked. And my kids were there for holiday. My siblings' kids were there for holiday. I carried the one that is my own, the two of them, put in my car, and called everybody. You should go and clear that woman's house of your children. Because people don't want to kill her. That's the truth. And it's the same thing that applies to us as women, as wives in our husbands' houses. The one that they will come and bring extended family, every member of the family, and one person is in charge of how everybody will feed. No, that thing is not realistic. It's not. Except you have a chef in your house, you have a maid in your house that assists to everybody. Don't overwhelm your wife.
Yesterday, I cannot decide. Not somebody that is thinking.
So that one person will say, she gave me, she did not give me, she did not put it, or she didn't salt it. All those kind of unnecessary. Don't even overburden your spouse like
but
that.
even maid becomes tired now. Even maid.
That's your job, oh. That's you be paying.
When you overburden,
if you overburden them, people they will hear you. They get.
Let's give you comments on social media as we wrap up on this.
Emmanuel says, I sincerely learned from you all. I received something about this. In my house, we will celebrate our birthday. Celebrant will prepare the meal, him or herself, in the kitchen. More fun.
Oh, really?
And says, I am sure Mariah does it the American way. Honey, let's order jollof rice.
No,
Akeem says.
No, I don't order jollof rice. I have people in the house that make jollof rice, so there's no need. I don't need to order. I don't see. For me, the truth is that I don't usually order. That's the truth, and it's because I have enough. I have a system that works in my house, so I don't need to order. But sometimes people want. Sometimes I feel like eating something different, like black soup. I have never tasted black soup in my life. I wanted to order black soup from somebody recently.
Chinese rice for my wedding anniversary and my birthday last year. Every time I think of ordering this food, I just want to call her in VGC to send. It's the distance that is killing me. If it's not that
all those exotic soup, black soup, granite soup. I've been looking at granite soup online since. I've been practicing
Christmas,
it.
I ordered kuningeta, taushe, you know. Yes, and I gave my family and friends.
Let me take this tweet.
And it's not something that I would have done by myself. There's some things I would have made mistakes. There's some things I can do myself, but it's been such a long time I don't do.
Yes.
And I just a few times I ordered.
Akeem says that the moment I started to appreciate my wife was the time she was hospitalized for surgery and no one to cook as usual. I am not that used to eating outside. She wakes up as early as 4 to 5 a.m. to cook for the children to take to school. And also cook when she comes back from work. You see, those are realistic. Yes. But you see, those I am traditional. I know someone whose wife is just giving birth and is waiting for her, asking her, now you firstborn?
You know, my dad's second wife was such a good cook. You know, Daddy used to love going to the weekend because they stayed. She used to make varieties and she would spend time in the kitchen, you know, to cook for Popsy. When I used to see that display then, very, very colorful and all sort of things. She was such a fantastic cook. In my own house, obviously. So my own house was very systematic. Everybody knew what. But that weekend, Daddy doesn't miss going to Solo because
you know they used to say about Calabar women, they were like, don't let them catch your husband. They cook those food for you.
YouTube has still taught us all their food. There's no story.
We know.
I know how to make a dikaiko easily.
September Production says, I beg, I go order food though, as long as I can afford it. Otherwise, na stew. Oga go take chop fufu. And Nam says, me, I can cook. Women can shakala me. But we can hire a cook if she's busy.
Edward Bamon says, my dad taught me how to cook, and every time I make a mistake, he takes time to correct me. He had more time to spend with us as children because he's a teacher, but my mom is always going to work. So I feel if your work allows you to cook, then fine, no matter the gender.
The Mebika says, see me, now so then use culture bully the older generation. If a man loves his wife, he will support when needed and be a team player in all home affairs.
Okay, I didn't know we can talk about food for this one. I thought I would have finished this conversation.
I need to take this person's tweet so we can break it down.
Food is
Ibrahim says,
our sustenance now.
We shouldn't twist things. Everyone has their roles to play at home, whether they feel like doing it or not. Okay. Part of the husband's role is to pay the bills, while part of the wife's role is to cook for the family, but they can help each other out in certain solutions.
That's true for
there was a husband who said to his wife, do you want to kill me? I told you I can't afford this thing. But the woman cannot say to him, I don't feel like cooking today. No, we should break it down.
Adegbite. Good morning, Adegbite. Take a few calls for a wrap-up. Good morning, Adegbite. Are you there? You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, well done.
Go ahead, please.
With me? All right. I just want to say that I want you to compare women that are feminine.
Feminist.
Okay.
Yeah, most of our ladies nowadays, most of them are feeling deep. Some of them are lazy. Okay, they are just tired of the house chores that used to be joyful for men in the past. So a man is telling his wife, okay, normal thing you do every day, please cook for us. He say, I'm tired. I don't want to cook today. I'm just tired. I've worked this morning. So what do you want to say about this and feminism? Some women are feeling too big to do certain things that used to be joyful for women to do in the past.
Thank you very much for that question, because it's important that we use this show to school and educate some of us.
What was his question?
Being a feminist doesn't mean that you are against cooking. Or you are against cooking, or you're even against your male counterpart. That's because people always have that connotation with feminism. Once you hear feminism, they're feminist. No. Feminism is asking for gender equity across board in family and work, in school, in social life, and everything. So that is one. So let's not mix feminism and this conversation. Secondly, I love my train of thought. Secondly, the point he was trying to make was he was saying that the woman's role. Trying to. Sorry.
I think you've said.
But it's good that you responded to it.
Yes, feeling too big. That she was feeling that big. No, it's not about feeling too big.
You see,
that's not feminism.
The problem when you think somebody is feeling too big to do something, it's you. It's you who is thinking. You're looking at her and saying, this role is yours by force, by fire. Maybe she can't cook. And she's saying, no. I once dated someone whose mother killed chicken and covered it and waited for me on a Friday. And I went there from Juma just to greet them and say, hey, welcome. It's the elder brother's girlfriend that used to pluck chicken. I broke the relationship of sharp. I cannot pluck chicken to date anybody. Till tomorrow when I kill chicken in my house, my husband plucks chicken. You cannot catch me removing, I hate it. And I love to eat my chicken, live chicken and all of those things. But I don't like plucking it. I don't like ironing. People can have things they don't like doing.
So me, I don't like cooking, but give me chicken. I will dice it, cut it.
No. Cutting is different. Removing that feather thing.
And I'm very good at ironing.
I didn't like it.
See? Different.
My parents never killed a chicken in my life.
I've never killed, but I can.
No, I don't have to kill it. Because
I'm very good.
Boys killed the chicken. My parents forced me. I remember all the chicken they killed. They say, it's your turn today. Sit down there. And you must not say, pim. Because they tell you if you talk pim inside, the chicken feather will grow again. It was torture for me.
Mariah, before we go, I just want us to understand. For us to appreciate that, cooking Nigerian foods just has too many processes. Please, and that's why I don't like cooking Nigerian foods. The process is just too long. Can we reduce it? That's why I follow a lot of all these Instagram videos. People have found a way to minimize the process. I beg. I cannot spend 5 hours in the kitchen, sweating and what?
Why?
Please.
Why would it take you 5 hours? What's the process?
YK. Let's break it down. I wanted to do groundnut soup and pounded yam for my kids' cultural day the other day.
Please.
Started the night before. You will roast the groundnut from scratch in a hot pan.
1.
You will peel it.
2.
You will go and blow it.
3.
Before you come and grind and
Why can't you go already roasted?
Because
I'm an Aochi woman and I don't want to be a lazy wife.
You're a lazy wife.
Then you peel it.
No, me, I buy the roasted groundnut.
YK, you are a Lagos woman. So you put it aside.
Yes.
Then you go and buy your pepper soup spices. You will still select the spices. The long one, that round one. You don't. Not all of them will make it. Groundnut soup. Some will spoil it. You will select it. And the woman had already blended pepper soup spice. But if you bring it on the time, wait till you condiment inside.
How do you know it's everything?
When you finish that, you put it aside. You do that. You then go and start plucking your dry fish, stockfish, the black fish. You are tired.
It's just
you will still now pound the yam. The children will say, Mommy, we roast pounded yam and groundnut soup. I say, I'll do pounded yam.
I know that we are advocating Nigerian rice, and they have learned. But the reason why a lot of us say we are not eating Nigerian rice is because we will not sit. When we were younger, you sit down, you pick stones out of rice before you cook rice. Meanwhile, Oyinbo counterparts, we just put rice on fire and be going.
All right, guys. I don't know how we survived speaking about this thing for almost an hour.
It's food.
It's important. I guess we got to go. But thank you, ladies. It's always nice to talk about the areas that affect all of our lives. But in a nutshell, all we're asking is that couples see what's best for them and then agree as a team and do what's best. So let's not judge people for ordering from vendors because they're also business owners. And let's not judge people for cooking too long in the kitchen. If they love to cook, that's their business. It's okay, let's celebrate it. But either way, do that which is best for you and your family. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.